For this assignment, we're instructed to create a presentation displaying our analysis of 3 TED Talks and present a list of 10 qualities that made each presentations we watched inspiring. We must include elements supporting. TED Talks have helped me out tremendously since I have discovered them. I believe there are several key elements that simply separates a TED Talk from an ordinary YouTube video lecture. First and foremost, when looking for lectures or TED Talks to watch, I search for topics that appeal to encouraging my self-development, little-known historical facts, or current relevant topics. I've always felt TED Talks to be personal. I feel like I am being spoken to directly, in a sense. When I feel a connection, the information will tend to stick and stay. In my opinion, the best TED Talks have a strong start. They usually incorporate some type of personal experience that correlates to the message being driven across to the audience. I feel like I am the receiver. Sometimes they'll have 1 or 2 points of personal conflict or trial and error reports, something that compels emotion and/or initiates a bond between speaker and the audience. Maybe they can fathom directly or relate to a similar instance, or maybe they know someone. Like having been diagnosed with a severe illness. If it's informative, it quickly and effectively gives a spread of facts, events and statistics with sometimes first-hand recollections of instances. They sometimes have colorful slides, videos and music or something to captivate and get the viewer/audience full attention. And usually, the TED Talker is trying to relay a point to masses in the most subtle and effective ways. They are excellent with timing and wording. They are very animated and the least bit mundane. Their character can be noticed through their tone. Tone is everything when trying to engage an audience. Here are 3 that are most appealing to me and reasons why. TED Talk number 1, Phil Hansen, artist. Phil Hansen is an American self-taught artist, who would create art and portraits methodically using dots. Unfortunately, he developed shakes resulting from nerve damage. His dots turned to dashes and pain. He stopped making art entirely, until one day, his doctor tells him to embrace the shakes. He began experimenting with different mediums and styles of art. The message from his doctor inspired him to expand his artistic creativity levels. When he first started again, he was overthinking and suddenly hit a creative block. He started thinking in the box again, reinventing traditional ways and styles of art with his own twist. His shakes and nerve pain were no longer such a hindrance. He was a born-again artist. He bought a whole new set of art supplies and was intimidated and overwhelmed by all the choices. Sometimes I feel the same way, intimidated. When I am in the grocery store, and there are over 15 different brands of the same item. Limitations may be the most unlikely of places to harness creativity, but perhaps one of the best ways to get ourselves out of ruts, rethink categories and challenge accepted norms. And instead of telling each other to seize the day, maybe we can remind ourselves every day to seize the limitation, a quote from Phil Hansen himself. 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. Sometimes the steps backwards are making us room to excel further than we could have ever imagined. He not only gave me new ideas on art to spin off of, but he definitely gave me comfort in relation to the creative block. Instantly I am reminded of one of my favorite quotes, "Keep it simple stupid," or KISS. It really shows the begetting behind sink or swim. Life is choppy and sometimes we get caught in the undertow, but what matters is what happens afterwards. What is our reaction at will? Do we fight the good fight and keep going, or just sink and drown with the pressure of, maybe on a macro scale, a murmur or just a simple hiccup? I personally want to experience all that life has to offer and then the unknown. I have sometimes been a victim of unfortunate events, and sometimes I have mental blocks. I love a good pick-me-up and good coping mechanisms. Bon Oui, C'est. I am giving him a complete 10 out of 10. He goes over a bit over 9 minutes, but I highly recommend others to check out his personal story and artwork. Number 2, Rod Phillips' Prohibition of Alcohol. Great informative video, recaps what we learned early on in grade school. Begins with a story of the night of Prohibition and sheds light on a little Russian history of a similar event. For a while they tried to claim that alcohol was a primary cause of social illnesses. During Industrial Revolution, temperance groups started protesting against domestic violence and poverty. They blamed alcohol. Maine was among the first to ban in the late 1800s. And in 1919, the ban was in full effect. In 1928 there erupted the black market. People sometimes made it home and legally attained through doctors who would prescribe, or it was permitted for religious purposes. In 1929 they needed tax revenue. In 1933 they appealed the laws prohibiting alcohol. This is almost identical to the current marijuana situation happening now. In contrast, marijuana is medically acknowledged and beneficial in dozens of ways. 2/3 of Americans support complete legalization. Colorado is tangible proof of the economic and financial gain reaped from legalization. The graphics in this presentation are easy on the eyes but a notable key for something that's main purpose is to inform you. This would be great in a presentation-style flashcard study session. Once again another video, inspiring me to create. It's a quick video, of only 4 minutes. I love learning and teaching others. I am en route to earning degree in computer animation then later early education. I plan to create educational mediums for children. Stumbling upon this TED Talk is a universal affirmation for me. I highly recommend watching some of Rod Phillips' TED Talks if you want to gain insight as to creating the perfect informative videos. Number 3 Dean Furness, Data Analysis/Wheelchair Athlete. To overcome challenges, stop comparing yourself to others. Dean is a data and analytics professional. In 2011, a sudden tragic accident left him paralyzed in seconds. Dean starts by generalizing the development of most people, how society compares children and peers with growth, development and mental standards. He then goes into a tragic story of how he became a paraplegic while working one day at home. His whole life changed by breaking just 2 bones. He started comparing himself to his former self. He had to totally forget his old normal life when he could fully function by himself. He then dives into the positive aspects of physical therapy, the goals and accomplishments he began making, and then the obstacles he faces strengthening his upper body. He describes his total mental transformation. Dean is now a regular marathon participant, basketball coach, and a father of 3. Dean perfected the pep talk by speaking in a way that you feel he's speaking directly to you. Although all of us may not personally know what it feels like to become paralyzed, however, everyone in the world knows a time where something suddenly changes the course of your plans. Some of us naturally get back on the horse with ease, some people have problems with self-esteem and motivation. When you learn about the vibrational scale, in the laws of attraction, of which gratitude is the highest point, hearing the stories, perils and accomplishments of others helps us maintain an overall gratitude for ourselves and our lives. It helps us shift our perspectives and see things in a new light, perhaps even discover new positive aspects in our lives and maybe an unknown accomplishment or two. Hearing another person's story can maybe help you see the beauty in something that before you thought of as being minuscule. I encourage others to listen to Dean's 12-minute story not only for inspiration, but he has the perfect presentation in regards to transitions and timing. During a Wells Fargo interview, one of his daughters commented, "The sign reads, 'Stronger than yesterday,'" she said. "I believe this saying is a staple, not just for Dad, but our family. There is no such thing as a bad day unless you let it be a bad day, it's your choice. You are stronger than the day before, and you can move forward to what is next." This concludes my analysis of 3 TED Talks that inspired me and changed my life. These 3 talks exemplify key elements that I believe are essential when reciting a presentation for just about anything. They were personal, informative, enlightening, yet quick and to the point, not spending too much or too little time on a specific area. I hope that you consider watching these TED Talks, and furthermore I wish that they inspire you and give you subtle presentation tips for the future.